Hi, you're watching Velo News TV. I'm Neil Rogers here at the Garmin-Chipotle team camp in Boulder, Colorado with our Tour de France video diarist, Julien Dean. Julien, welcome back to Velo News TV and welcome back to Boulder.
No, thanks very much. It's good to be here. It's it's always a good time of year for us. We're together, we're relaxed, and making stories this week we're going to talk about for the rest of the year. So it's good.
Well, that was going to be one of my first questions. I mean, the camp is obviously they call this a training camp, but it's really putting in big miles is not the goal here. It's not the objective. You guys are coming together, getting to know each other, getting to know staff, talking about next year, and having some fun.
Yeah, we have, and it's really important. This is it's time of year when you do need to be doing a little bit of training, but training's not the priority. And what's really important is interacting together, getting to know guys off the bike as well, and so when we come to the Tour of Flanders or whatever, and it's hosing down with rain and sleet, and we're hating life. We get back to the hotel, we're going to lie in our bed and laugh about some of the times we had here and that sort of thing. So that's what it's about.
I suppose there's only 5 new guys on the team, so I suppose everyone knows each other pretty well, the riders and the staff. Does that sort of put the emphasis then on those 5 guys? I mean, you get a little bit of hazing going on with the new guys?
Yeah, no, not really. I think it's I think the group's a lot tighter now. The guys that have come into the team, the guys are going to fit really well into the team, and we've been able to see that. And even though they're new to the team this year, in a sense, it doesn't actually really even feel like they are. So that's how I feel about it, and I hope those guys are feeling the same way as well.
Let's hear some stories. We know about Koza at the paintball. Since then, there's been a hike. It's been a few nights out. Any information you can divulge from the activities?
What happens on tour stays on tour.
Something's going on behind us. Oh yeah. I don't know if you can you focus in on Mr. Zabriskie back there? Yeah. Well, in this case, what happens at camp is captured in front of the world. Well, let's talk a little bit about the second half of your season. We were up to speed with you at the Tour on a day-to-day basis. Yeah. Since then, I know you were at both the World Championships, the Olympics. We were just talking Tour of Ireland, Tour of Britain.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was good. It's I had a big start of the year. I did all the classics, did the Giro, did the Tour, and post Tour de France, the Olympics was the big objective, and I was already up to 80 race days at that point. I didn't really. I was half and half about whether I wanted to continue on to World Championships and put a big effort in for that, but the opportunity was there. It was a World Championships course that was good for me, and I was fit and healthy, and it was just a matter of mentally trying to stay on top of it and see if I could do something there. And unfortunately, it didn't really work out how I'd hoped, but it was bike racing.
Yeah, what happened? Talk a little bit about the race.
I think it was probably the most bizarre World Championships I've ever done. It's we knew the Spanish guys were working for Freire, knew the Belgian guys were working for Boonen, and Bettini was obviously the favourite, having won it 2 previous years. And I really think that I had an objective of how I was going to ride the race. I was going to follow those guys and stick with them. But there was sort of a bizarre split in the peloton with a lap to go, and this big group of guys went away, and then another 2 or 3 went, and then it was sort of race just sat up behind. And I'm from New Zealand. I was the only guy in the race, and I don't have
going to the front and dragging it back.
No, I don't have a team to be able to help me out in the finish like that. So I was sort of stuck back there with Boonen and Freire, waiting for everything to sort of for the race to take shape and come back together in that last 15k. But it just didn't happen, and it was really weird because it's across the finish line of the World Championships, and I didn't really feel like I'd turned a pedal in anger the whole day.
Wow.
So it was just it was a strange feeling.
Right. Yeah. Talk a little bit about obviously as a sprinter. I talked a little bit about the team composition with Jonathan Vaughters, and it seems like the sprints are not a major emphasis for this team. Yeah. Talk a little bit about what's going to be expected from you next year.
Yeah, I think like for me, Obviously the team time trials we're having and the Giro and the Tour are going to be a huge focus for this team. Time trials are a big part of our team. Christian is going to be obviously a rider that we're going to focus on for the Tour de France, and trying to improve on his top 5 place from this year. And in between those sorts of times, I am a sprinter, and when I can, I'll be trying to get up there and get the guys behind me to try and get a good train going. Because on paper we've got guys who can do a good lead out. It's just a matter of getting the dynamics amongst the boys, and that just takes a bit of time and practice.
Is there a difference between I'm thinking of like Tyler Farrar as sort of the team's other sprinter. Is there a difference between sort of a classic sprinter and a Grand Tour sprinter? I mean, you're talking about the Giro and the Tour. Obviously, Tyler wants to race the classics.
Yeah, I mean, but they're very different, and you have to be like a really strong sort of like sprinter, like to be able to be in the final of the sprints in the Tour de France, and a team and a good quality team is an integral part of that, and the guys that can do sort of like good sprints in the classics are, they're sort of like hard, sort of like more sort of like slow, powerful kind of guys, whereas the Tour de France sprint you have to have like sort of like strength, and like a speed kind of strength. So they can be quite different.
Yeah, and if in 2009, if you don't take a sprint win in the entire season, but the team wins the team time trial at the Giro and at the Tour, and you see your teammates in the leader's jersey, is that, you can look at that as a successful season? Yeah,
definitely. It's a successful season for the team. And I think the good thing about this team is that, like, if it doesn't happen, if we don't win the team time trial again in the Giro or the team time trial in the Tour de France, we're going to be able to walk away and know that we've done everything we can to try and win it. And I remember when we crossed the line at the finish of the Giro in the team time trial, and we rolled through past all the press and sort of around the corner, so we could catch ourselves a bit. And the 5 of us that were across the line just had a couple of minutes there. And it didn't matter that we didn't know at that time if we were going to win or not, but we kind of looked at each other and we knew it didn't really matter, because we knew the work we'd put in, and we knew we couldn't have done any more, and that's probably the most satisfying thing.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate the time, Julien.
Look forward to seeing you in the new circuit back in Europe.